Have you ever imagined what it's like to be being rejected and ignored by your own family members? It was my addiction that led me to a life of rejection. My addiction started to take control over me when I was doing my graduation in New Delhi. Being an introvert person, I wasn't able to mingle with any people. In order to adapt all these things, I started to misuse the pills. For even realizing what mistakes I'm making, my addiction has already taken hold over me, and I wasn't able to come out of it. Whenever I don't take these pills, my body will just start to ache, and I will have a sleepless night, and all my joints will just get hurt. These are some of the withdrawals that I faced whenever I don't have pills. Slowly people started to know about my addiction. People started to avoid me. I was not welcome in their home or any kinds of functions or parties. I started to lose my confidence, and I wasn't able to get out of my house. It was such a miserable life. One day I was just looking at the mirror and I see myself, my appearance, and it seems that I'm just literally a dead person. I feel very sorry for myself, and from there I started to take help. I went to psychiatric doctors and they prescribed me medicines and just to sustain some of my pain, my withdrawals, and they would give me high doses. But at the end, I would just find myself in the same old place, and I was fed up of it. And I really want to get out of this, but I don't know how. So I went for Bible college, thinking that would change my life. But I just gave up on the halfway because of my pride, my arrogance, my ego, until one day, one incident turned my life around. I got into a car accident, and people who witnessed the crash, they thought that nobody will survive such a miserable crash. But I came out without even a single scratch in my body. And that same night, I have a sleepless night. I woke up from time to time and I started asking God, why am I still alive? And what is it that you want from my life? The next morning, my conscience was clear that I need to go and seek God. I need to know what God has planned for me. What is His purpose for me? So I step out of my house in search of God to have an intimate relationship with Him. I joined YWAM in the year 2018, and after my graduation, I stayed there as a staff. And during my stay, I started to know what God has done for me throughout my life, and why am I still alive, and where I stand right now. It is all because of God's grace and His love for me. I started to understand the purpose of my life and what God has planned for me. It is not what I can do for God, but what God can do through me. I've experienced that true freedom comes from Christ Jesus only. All this time I wasn't able to get out of my miserable life because I was relying on my own strength. But when I surrendered completely to God's hand, I was saved and freed from all the bondages of addiction. I've never felt so alive, and my life seems more meaningful.